Onto their sovereign right to choose the President of the Republic. We are advising people, Kenyans, and our supporters in particular, to reject and ignore the plain lies and half-truths being peddled by sections of the media and the political class that the swearing in of Right Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is a bargaining chip for dialogue. As we have stated severally, our nation is now deeply divided between two irreconcilable political values, namely authoritarian rule and democracy. There are in fact people who have said severally, leaders of the other side, that a benevolent dictatorship is preferable to democracy. So we are divided between those people who are claiming that they can, in fact, govern the country and govern the people as benevolent dictators, and those of us who subscribe and are committed to democracy and are not prepared to live under a dictatorship of any kind. So it is important, in our view, to talk about why we have this divide and how we can bridge it. Why it is, after 25 years of fighting for democracy, we can have people stand up and make a case publicly for dictatorship. We need to ask why. If we are not agreed that we are a democracy, how can we then live together? It remains our position that in these circumstances, Kenya will not stand for long. The way out, therefore, is for the country to embark on an urgent, honest, and far-reaching conversation sooner rather than later. Having conducted a coup against citizens through a fraudulent election on October 26th, which was boycotted by at least 2/3 of Kenyans, Jubilee is now unable to form government. Rather than address this failure, which is caused by internal greed, power-grabbing, and rent-seeking, Jubilee is spreading misinformation that somehow it is failing to form government because NASA wants a share of government, the thing that is called nusumkate in our language. We state very categorically that we are not interested in power sharing with Jubilee at this point in time. We have made it clear that we do not recognize this regime, and we are not prepared to help it out of its own mess by lending it legitimacy so that it can limp along to the election which would take place in 2022 if they allow it. So we are not going to escort Jubilee into a sham electoral dictatorship as they are trying to do. The vast majority of this country stands with NASA on this agenda, of that we are certain. So we are moving on. We are proceeding with the people who believe that electoral justice is key for a stable, fair, prosperous nation. And we are determined to ensure that every vote in Kenya is counted when we have an election, and that every vote counts. If and when Jubilee leadership sees the need for the country to interrogate its systems and institutions through a national conversation, it is welcome to join our People's Assembly process. NASA is not interested in a boardroom deal. We've had boardroom deals before. They have not delivered for the people. We would not be here if the boardroom deal we had in 2007 and 8 had delivered for the people. So, having learned from that, we are leading an open, inclusive, transformational political dialogue. At the end of the process that we are leading, we expect and we intend to institute a very significant political transformation of the society. So in pursuit of this agenda, tomorrow which is Friday the 19th, we proceed to Machakos for the Ukambani People's Consultative Forum. In the People's Assembly, in these forums that we are holding, we are deliberating on how to remake this nation so that it works for all of us. For it to do so, we must agree on how to share power and exercise it responsibly, how to share opportunities equitably, and above all, how to coexist peacefully as distinct communities brought together by the cruel fate of colonialism. This is the conversation we believe we must have to become the nation that has eluded us for half a century. Everyone who thinks that this conversation is important is welcome. So, the people, as we said, we will deliberate and we will agree on how to share power, how to share opportunities and resources, and how to coexist as a diverse peoples, a multicultural, democratic nation. Thank you very much for listening to me. We are happy to take a couple of questions. There's a question at the back there. We are proceeding with the swearing in is one activity. It's something we must do so that we restore and give formal legitimacy to the leadership which won the election on August the 8th. But alongside that, in parallel, we are continuing with conversations. The people, we are just facilitating conversations among the people. When we complete the regional forums in a couple of weeks, we are going to convene the first national convention. And at that convention, the people will inaugurate the leadership of the national convention again. And we will proceed until the point where we agree on what transformational changes need to be made in our politics. And once we have agreed on what those are, we will then push them through the processes that the people have through the Constitution to make changes to the political structure of the nation. We are here to clarify that that is not the case. So kama nimesema, tunatoa hii habari leo kwa niaba ya viongozi wa NASA. Tumeona kwa vyombo vya habari watu wamejadiliana sana, kwa wanaongea juu kumekuwa na vikao vya viongozi wa NASA Jumatatu na Jumapili na Monday and Tuesday na Jumanne, na kumekuwa na uvumi mwingi ni mambo gani yamesemwa kwa hizo vikao. Tumekuwa kwa hiyo vikao na yale mambo tunasema hapa ndio yamenenwa kwa hizo vikao na ndio tumeamua. So we are reporting on what we have agreed from those conversations. There is no division in us.
Ni David Ndii huyo akizungumza kutoka katika jumba la Okoa Kenya kuhusu mipango ya muungano wa NASA kwa wiki hii, ambapo walisema hapo kesho wataelekea huko Machakos. Moja kwa moja anaarifiwa tuelekee katika jumba la KICC ambapo msemaji wa serikali Eric Kiraithe pia anatoa taarifa. Tusikilize ni kuhusu nini.